Hello. I broke through my stall, and while I was thinking about it, I wanted to come on and share what I did. I'm so excited because I've been bouncing this like same 2 to 3 pounds around for the last 8 to 10 weeks. Looking back on it, I think that my overall, I've been kind of like slowly chipping away in ounces. Okay. I'm at the halfway point, so I still have a ways to go. As I said, not totally hung up on like any big number. I just sort of like in my head thought, okay, well, this is a healthy weight for me. And I have weighed that for a lot of my adult life, not for the last 10 years, but prior to that, and menopause, that's where I was. Actually, I was a little bit thinner by probably 10 pounds, but I would be happy with the number that I chose. I'm happy with where I am right now. But I still do have like 30 to 35 pounds to lose. So I'll get to it. What I did, looking back, was during the stall, after a few weeks, I started really paying attention to just my overall habits. I started feeling, I've been titrating slowly up, and I've been on lower doses probably compared to a lot of people in the same number of weeks as me. And they say don't compare yourself to anybody. And I don't, but I do in some ways because I feel like I've overall had an average result. And I think some of the side effects and experiences are more on the average, and I would consider my experience pretty average. But I have my idea going into it, and what I've stuck to is just slow titration up. Truth be known, if I would have known what I knew when I started, I would have started at even a lower dose than the starting dose of 2.5, since I could inject myself. No one mentioned that. It wasn't a thought. I didn't consider it. But if I was just starting, especially if I had under like 20 or 30, even 40 pounds to lose, I think that I would start on a lower dose to see if there was any impact at all. And I'd give it a minute too. You're surely would have less side effects if that's a thing for you. And again, mine were average. So I'm on the compounded tirzepatide. I've been on that the whole time. So I can dose myself. I started on 2.5. I was on that for a long time. I've mentioned before, I lost the majority of the weight that I've lost so far between 2.5 and 5.0. Great. And then a few more pounds. And then the last 8 to 10 weeks, I've been, like I said, bouncing this like 2 to 3 pounds around. So finally got to the bottom of those 3 pounds. And then the last 2 weeks, I've been, I went up to 80 units. So I had to go off of it for a couple weeks in November. It's the end of January now. The last dose I did before I went up to 80 units was 7.5. And the week before that, I think I was 6 something. And the week before that, it was 5 or 5.5. Because when I went off of it for a couple weeks, I wanted to just kind of start a little lower again to make sure that I was adjusting okay and everything was balanced. It was. But that's when I started getting impatient a little bit. However, during that time, I really, truly paid attention to just what I was putting in my body, how I was, my, just overall behavior. And I learned that the first part of the week was when my body was probably working the best on the peptide therapy. But then later in the week, it would wear off, and whatever my rhythm was, where I felt like I was doing okay. I just sort of undid it. Not to the point where I was gaining anything. I just wasn't losing anything. And so I realized I probably was just on more of like what would be a maintenance dose for me. So I learned a little bit about what to look forward to when the time comes and how that's going to go. And boy, I can't wait. I can't wait. But in the meantime, I knew that I had to up my dose a little bit. And so instead of going up to 10, which would be what if you were on a pre-filled pen for Manjaro or Zepbound, the dose would have gone from like 7.5 to 10.0 or 100 units. And I have a couple friends that are on that. I have people who started after me and are on that. And it's working, not gonna lie. And they're having side effects, but it is working. So, I mean, part of me is thinking, gosh, there's one theory that's like, just get it done and get to maintenance. And that would be something I would pay attention to if like money was an issue, which, it's so expensive. I'm not saying it's not an issue for me, but it's forcing me to think that way. Jax, please stop barking. That's really rude. Sorry. Where was I? So I forgot where I was. Give me a minute, because I have clear brain now and I'm going to remember what I was saying. Oh, I think if I was really like wanting to maximize dosing and whatever savings I had that I was putting towards this, I probably would take a chance, but I don't know. That's not where I am. That's not what I wanted to do. And that's not what I've done. So then I was just trying to figure out I figured that I had to probably up my dose so that I could make it last a little bit longer in my system and reduce that sort of food noise and I don't know, these impulse control issues that I guess I have. And for the last 2 weeks, it's worked. And so I'll take it. The only side effect that I've had really over the last couple of weeks is a headache. Nothing I haven't been able to control with Advil or Tylenol. However, I took a little bit more than I like to over the first 3 days. Well, the first day, I was fine. The first day I'm always fine. My shot has a vitamin B6 component to it, and it just, I think I said it doesn't make me zing, but it definitely gives me a little boost in energy, and I think it sort of balances out the peptide as it gets into your system. It's the next day that I start, like I can feel it for sure. Like it's just sort of like your brain chemistry, and for me it's a headache, and usually that's just day 2. Usually I'm tired at night. I'm ready, so I go to bed. And then on day 3, it's usually my sweet spot day. But this time, the last 2 weeks on day 3, I still was battling a pretty significant headache. I don't know if it was the injection or if there was some kind of weather system going on, but 2 weeks in a row, I'm kind of thinking it was a shot. So finally, I'm past that hurdle now, and I'm going to enjoy the last 2 days before I take it again, because I'm going to take it again on Wednesday, and it might go away. All my other side effects are gone, which I am thrilled. So I can handle a little headache, but when I'm in my sweet spot, I don't know if I've explained this right, but it's kind of like an feeling to me. It's not a taste in my mouth. It's like a low hum in my palate. And I don't know if there's a GLP-1, which is the gut hormone. And then there's the GIP, which is the brain. And so maybe a combination of both. Not really sure, but I like it. And I'm always sad when it wears off and I'm ready for it again. So I've lost 3 to 4 pounds in the last couple of weeks. And I am really happy with that. A little more than I have, but on average, I'm at week 28. I'm about to start week 29, and I've lost 31 pounds. So last week, I reported losing 28 pounds in 28 weeks, and that's with a stall and over an 8 to 10 week period, bouncing around 2 to 3 pounds and just kind of like chipping away in ounces over that time. So, but I'm really happy with the way that I recognize, like just kind of hit pause and was more thoughtful about what I was doing, how I was doing it, what I could do different, and the things that I thought of. And of course, I did a lot of research, lots of Google searches and watching other people's, about their stalls. You're going to like the things that you're going to hear on repeat are up your protein, up your water intake, move your body more, and make sure you get all your fiber in. I mean, that really is the golden seal. That's what it is. Oh, and then up your dose if you're stalling for that long. But unfortunately, I think this happens to people when they're when they're using higher doses, and there's nowhere to go after 15 milligrams. So I don't want that to happen to me when I'm only halfway there. So I've got a little wiggle room to play with. I'm going to stay on this dose as long as I can, and I hope that I can continue on it for a few weeks and get, a few lbs off. So this is what I look like. I don't know if you can see. That's probably not a good, I got a belly. I got boobs, but I'm so much more comfortable in my clothes and just overall where I am in my journey. So, okay, well, good luck, you guys, if you're having a stall. I love to bounce some ideas around, and I love looking at other people's content to see what they did. It helps me so, so much, and I hope that I can help somebody too. Until next time, have a good night. Bye.